They say you should never speak ill of the dead. But when I stood at my uncle's funeral in our village, watching Madame Ifunanya Okoro weep dramatically over his grave, man she barely knew, I didn't feel sympathy. I felt recognition. Because sitting 3 rows behind her, nearly invisible in a faded black dress, was my cousin Ada. The Ada who used to laugh so loudly you could hear her from 3 compounds away. The Ada who now looked like a ghost wearing skin. She'd been married to Madame Ifunanya's son for 2 years. She lasted 18 months. I watched Madame Ifunanya accept condolences like royalty, her gold jewelry glinting in the sun, her voice booming about family values and respecting elders. Then I watched Ada flinch when Madame Ifunanya's eyes briefly met hers across the grave. That's when I knew. This woman was a terrorist in a George wrapper. 3 months later, I received a marriage proposal from Madame Ifunanya's son. She'd chosen me herself, called me humble, God-fearing, a proper village girl. I smiled sweetly and said yes. Let me take you back because you need to understand what kind of battlefield I was walking into. Married Obi Okoro 5 years ago. A love marriage, or so she thought. She entered Madame Ifunanya's house with hope in her eyes and her late mother's jewelry as her only inheritance. Day 1. Madame Ifunanya criticized the way Ada tied her wrapper. Too loose. Are you a prostitute? Day 3. Ada cooked jollof rice. Madame Ifunanya poured it in the gutter. This is pig food. Day 7. Ada woke at 4 a.m. to sweep the compound. Madame Ifunanya accused her of sweeping away the family's blessings. Obi said nothing, ever. His spine, it seemed, dissolved the day his mother gave birth to him. After 6 months, Ada started losing weight. After 12 months, she stopped smiling. After 18 months, she left in the middle of the night. No note, no drama, just gone. Madame Ifunanya told everyone Ada was mentally unstable and ungrateful. The village believed her. After all, who questions a widow who quotes Bible verses? But Ngozi didn't know this story when she married Obi 2 years later. Ngozi was different, louder, bolder, educated. She worked as a teacher. She believed love could conquer anything, including a nightmare mother-in-law. Sweet, foolish Ngozi. Madame Ifunanya saw her confidence as disrespect, her education as pride, her salary as competition. The psychological warfare began immediately. Public humiliation at family gatherings, accusations of witchcraft, lies whispered to Obi about strange men calling the house. Ngozi fought back with logic, with patience, with couples therapy suggestions. Madame Ifunanya fought back with chaos. At a family wedding, Madame Ifunanya loudly accused Ngozi of sleeping with Obi's cousin. In front of 200 guests, Ngozi fled in tears and never returned. After 2 failed marriages, Madame Ifunanya decided the problem was simple. Modern women were broken. She needed someone controllable, respectful, silent. So she came to my village, Umueze, asking church mothers for recommendations. My name came up, Chizara, orphaned young, raised by aunties, quiet, church usher. No phone, no opinions, perfect. When she visited my aunt's compound, I served her zobo with my head bowed, called her Ma, laughed softly at her jokes. She smiled like a wolf who'd found a lamb. This one, she declared, will not disgrace my son. What Madame Ifunanya didn't know, what no one knew, was that Ada was my cousin, my mother's sister's child, and I'd visited her exactly once after she left that marriage. Once was enough. The wedding was small but loud. Madame Ifunanya made sure of that. She invited half of Abi estate to show off her properly raised new daughter-in-law. I wore white lace, smiled demurely, knelt to greet elders. Obi looked fine, handsome enough, mid-30s, soft-spoken. Mama's boy energy radiated off him like cologne. He whispered during our first dance, "I'm sorry about my mother. She means well." I smiled. "Sure she does," the MC announced. "This one will last. A wife who knows her place." The crowd cheered. During the reception, I saw Ada in the back. She'd come secretly to support me. Our eyes met. She mouthed, "Be careful." I mouthed back, "Don't worry." The honeymoon period, that wasn't. We moved into Madame Ifunanya's compound immediately. No discussion. "My son will not abandon me," she declared. Our room was beside hers. The walls were thin. She coughed loudly at night, knocked on our door at 5 a.m. Forgot to buy food for dinner, so I'd have to cook from scratch after a full day of chores. Obi noticed nothing, or pretended not to. I played my role, obedient daughter-in-law. I woke early, cooked without complaint, wore long skirts, spoke only when spoken to. Madame Ifunanya bragged to neighbors, "See? This is a real wife, not like those other useless girls. After 2 weeks, Obi got a job transfer to Port Harcourt, 6 hours away. He'd be gone for 6 months, visiting once monthly. Madame Ifunanya clapped her hands in delight. Finally, just us women. We'll bond properly. I smiled sweetly. Oh, we will. The first week after Obi left, I was still the perfect wife. The second week, I started forgetting things. Mama, I'm sorry I thought you said 3 p.m., not 2 p.m. for the prayer meeting. Mama, forgive me, I didn't know you wanted that pot for the soup. You have so many! Small things. Innocent mistakes. She corrected me loudly, but couldn't quite accuse me of defiance. By week 3, I'd accidentally added too much salt to her food twice. Washed her favorite wrapper with something that bled color. Forgot to buy her specific brand of ground crayfish. Her frustration was delicious. When she snapped, "Are you stupid?" I burst into tears. "I'm trying my best, Ma. I'm so sorry." She softened briefly, but her eyes held suspicion. Madame Ifunanya decided I needed more training. She woke me at 4:30 a.m., gave me lists, sweep the entire compound, wash clothes by hand. We had a machine, cook 3 meals from scratch, scrub floors on my knees. I did it all slowly, inefficiently, with questions. Ma, should I scrub in circles or straight lines? Ma, is this wrapper dry enough or should I wait? Ma, I'm not sure if this rice is done. Can you check? I made myself exhausting to supervise. She started doing tasks herself just to avoid my incompetence. One evening, she collapsed into her chair, sweating. That Ada girl was useless, but at least she was fast. I brought her water. I'll try harder, Ma. Madame Ifunanya loved food, specifically her food, cooked her way. I started experimenting. Too much pepper, too little salt. Burnt edges. Undercooked centers. Never enough to be obvious sabotage, just enough to be consistently disappointing. She stopped eating my cooking, started making her own meals, which meant I only cooked for myself, which meant I controlled the kitchen. When she asked me to cook for guests, I suddenly became amazing again, because witnesses meant I had to perform. But for her, mediocrity every single time. She complained to Obi on the phone. "Your wife can't cook," he laughed. "Mama, you're too picky. Just teach her." She couldn't because teaching me meant spending more time with me. Mama Chinedu from next door started asking questions. "Zara, you're looking well, but Mama Ifunanya? Is she okay?" Because Madame Ifunanya, the woman who once hosted loud parties and dominated every gathering, was now quiet, withdrawn. She'd lost weight. Her wrappers hung loose. She stopped attending church regularly, stopped visiting neighbors. People started whispering, "That girl is a witch. She's doing something to that poor woman." But no one could prove anything. I was always respectful, always smiling, always serving her publicly. Mama Chinedu pulled me aside. "My dear, be careful. People are watching." I nodded humbly. "I'm only trying to please my mother-in-law, Ma. Madame Ifunanya used to control everything. The TV remote, the house keys, the social calendar. Slowly, I took it all. Ma, rest, I'll lock up. Ma, I'll answer the door. Ma, let me handle the tenants' complaints." She was too tired to fight, too confused by how it happened. Her friends stopped visiting. I was always just about to serve food or clean or pray, making their timing awkward. Her power evaporated like morning mist. One night, she asked me quietly, "Zara, do you hate me?" I looked shocked. "Ma, how can you say that? You're my mother now." She looked unconvinced. Month 3. Obi came home for a long weekend. He noticed immediately. "Mama, you've lost weight. Are you sick?" She glanced at me. I was setting the table, humming a hymn. No, she said quickly. "Just stress." "Stress from what? Zara is here to help you." I brought out a perfect meal, his favorites. Smiled warmly, massaged his shoulders, he beamed. "See, Mama, I told you this one was different." Madame Ifunanya said nothing. That night I heard her crying in her room. Madame Ifunanya tried to reassert dominance. She yelled at me in front of Obi. "This girl is lazy. She does nothing." I stood there, tears streaming. I'm sorry, Ma. I thought I was doing well." Obi looked around. The spotless house, the full fridge, the organized compound. "Mama, what are you talking about? The house is perfect." She stammered, backtracked, looked confused. Obi took me aside. "Is she okay? She seems off." "I'm worried too," I whispered. "She forgets things, gets angry for no reason." Obi started wondering if his mother was losing her mind. Mama Chinedu couldn't stay silent anymore. She visited when I was out, really. I was listening from the kitchen. "Funanya, what is happening to you? You look afraid." I'm fine. You're not. That girl, she's respectful, she's kind. Then why do you look like Ada did? Madame Ifunanya whispered, I don't know. Something feels wrong, but I can't say what. At a family gathering, Madame Ifunanya tried to regain her throne. She started loudly praising me. My Zara is nothing like those other useless wives. I smiled modestly. Then she added, Ada was a witch. Gozi was a prostitute. But Zara, I interrupted gently. Ma, please. Let's not speak ill of others. The room went silent. I had just publicly corrected her. Her face turned red. She stammered, then fled to the bathroom. Did you see that? Madame Ifunanya's broken. Month 5. Obi came home unannounced. He found his mother sitting alone in the dark, staring at nothing. The compound was clean. Dinner was ready. I was at evening prayer. But his mother looked haunted. Mama, what's wrong? Nothing. You're lying. She started crying. I don't know, Obi. I don't feel safe in my own house. Obi called Mama Chinedu. Tell me the truth. What's happening here? Mama Chinedu told him everything, not accusations, just observations. Your mother used to be strong, loud. Now she's disappearing. Obi started watching. He saw me serve his mother food respectfully. He saw me clean efficiently. He saw me pray, devoutly. But he also saw his mother's hands shake when I entered the room. He set up a small camera in the living room for security. The camera caught everything. My accidents, my misunderstandings, my perfectly timed incompetence, the way I'd pause just long enough before helping her when she struggled, the way I'd sigh barely audible when she spoke. Nothing illegal, nothing violent, just cruelty wrapped in politeness. Obi confronted me that night. Why are you doing this? I didn't deny it, didn't cry. I just looked at him. Doing what? You're tormenting my mother. Am I? Or is she finally experiencing what she gave to others? His face went pale. I sat down calmly. My name is Zara, but my full name is Zara Obiajeli Nwankwo. Ada is my cousin, my mother's sister's daughter. Obi's face drained of color. Ada told me everything. How your mother treated her. How you did nothing. Ngozi was my friend from teacher's college. She called me the night your mother humiliated her at that wedding. His mouth opened. No sound came. Your mother came to my village looking for a submissive wife, so I gave her exactly what she wanted. I never hit her, never insulted her. I just made her feel powerless, small, afraid, the way she made them feel. Obi was silent for a long time. Then, so this was revenge? No, this was a lesson. You manipulated me. You lied. Your mother destroyed 2 marriages. You let her. I just held up a mirror. He had no response. Madame Ifunanya appeared in the doorway. She'd heard everything. Madame Ifunanya collapsed into a chair. For the first time in her life, she had no words, no Bible verses, no excuses, just silence. Finally, I didn't think. You didn't think they were human, I finished. You didn't think their pain mattered. She started crying real tears, not performance. I'm sorry. Don't tell me. Tell them. The next day, we drove to Ada's house. Ada opened the door and froze. Madame Ifunanya fell to her knees. Forgive me. Ada stared. Then, get up. You look pathetic. But her voice cracked. We found Ngozi next. She slammed the door in our faces twice before finally listening. Madame Ifunanya begged, wept, confessed. Neither woman forgave her immediately, but they saw her broken, humbled, human. It doesn't erase what you did, Ada said. But it's a start. I annulled the marriage. It was never real. Obi didn't fight it. He was too ashamed. Madame Ifunanya moved to a small flat alone, finally learning to care for herself. Ada started therapy. Ngozi remarried. I returned to my village. 6 months later, I received a letter. It was from Madame Ifunanya. Zara, I will never forget what you did. Not because it was cruel, but because it was necessary. I was a monster. You showed me my reflection. I am learning to be better. Slowly. Thank you for not letting me die ignorant, Ifunanya. I folded the letter. Some people called me wicked. Others called me brilliant. I called myself necessary. Because kindness doesn't always teach. Sometimes consequences do. I didn't destroy Madame Ifunanya. I just made her feel what she'd done. And maybe, just maybe, that saved the next daughter-in-law from becoming another ghost.